Okay, back to the way things were. Hopefully this works. Okay. Come on, baby. I do not know what's going on. Okay. Alright, I think this is working. Alright, so I have this selected. I have everything the way I want it. Oh, also pro tip too, when you start, before you actually start, hopefully you haven't started doing this already yet, before you actually start, if you want something to, we want this to have a nice, very gentle feather, so make sure that this option right here up here is selected for one pixel feather. Okay, so now to cut him out of this is going to be fun. So I would just do Control C to copy, and it'll just copy the selected area that he's in, and then I will come over. Oh, I can turn off my sight on that one. Deselect, make a new layer, and click V, and it has that cute little cutout of him. Oh, so precious. Alright, he's still really tiny, and that's a problem, so let's see what we can do to make him bigger, and hopefully it won't, like, totally delete it. Oh my gosh, my computer is really having problems. Well, we'll just run with it and see what happens, okay? Alright, so we've got his picture in place. Now we need to have the white stroke around it. That was a part of making it look like it was cut out from a piece of paper. So we will come down here to FX, right under our layers, and click stroke. Oh good, it's going to stroke that too. Okay, maybe we don't want to do those anymore. Why is it being so snarky every time I try to change its size? It's like losing information or something? This is absurd. Yeah, it's just bonkers. Can't really make it. Oh my gosh, this is really, really bad. Okay. Okay, let's get rid of this layer. I don't want it anymore. Alright, well here is remarkably small Josh. We're here. I don't know if I can just, maybe I can do this. Just a little changes. Okay, we can handle little changes. We can handle little ones. Let's see if we can get them bigger than an inch. You know, and this is probably just my computer having problems. You probably won't have the same problem. Lucky you. Okay, so now I've got him at least bigger than an inch, which is progress. Okay, still doing good. Okay. Let's see. Oh yes, stroke. Actually, before I stroke, he's really blurry. I don't like that, so I'm going to see what I can do to get him unblurry. So you come up here to filter, go down to sharpen, and then you want to do unsharp mask down here at the very bottom. Click that. It'll bring up this tool. Typically what I'll do just for a basic sharpening of anything, even if it's not really that blurry, if I just want to make it just a hair crisper, I will just do 100, amount, radius 1, threshold 1. But as you can see, that hardly changes anything, so at this point I just start toggling with it until I see what I like. Make sure this preview box is checked so you can also tell. That's a bit of improvement. I kind of like that. Okay. Now I got it where I like it. Now I can add the stroke, which is again over here. It has a little FX, you know, FX, so haha, so funny, so punny. Okay. And we want to stroke right up here. We do not want to give him a stroke, we just want to stroke his picture. And not in a weird, creepy way either. Alright, size 3. Position outside, blend mode normal, and we want the color to be white. Now we can't see it at all, and sometimes you can make it bigger if you feel like it needs to be bigger. I kind of do, so I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger so it looks more papery. So that's more like 10 pixels. Alright, now we're good. So now if I want to see what that looks like, I can just get the bucket tool, change my background color down here by clicking on the square. and just do the bucket. And what is going on? Oh, this is bad. My computer really doesn't like me right now. Ah, really bad, man. In my defense, this is a school computer that I'm borrowing and I cannot add updates to it, which is ridiculous. And so it desperately needs an update and it won't, but I can't give it one. Okay, there we go. All right, so we see he's got some little lumpies coming off his head. We don't want any of those, so that's when I come in with a little eraser tool over here. I like a pretty solid eraser, not one of these blurry ones. I gotta make sure you're on his layer. And I'm just gonna kind of just tap in. See, it's stroking the actual layer of his shirt, which for some reason is picking up extra stuff. I don't know why. So you actually want to make sure that you're more than just overlapping the area, the bumpy area. Just like that. Boop. Oh, that was way too much overlap. Okay. To undo something, you just have to hit Command or Control Z, and that will undo it. Boop. Yeah, let's clean that up a little more. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Normally this doesn't happen, but sometimes it does, so you just gotta deal with it. Doop-de-doo. Alright, got rid of most of the little boogers. You know, I'm not really bothered with this over here. Well, I mean, I could always go in and change it. That's going to take more work than it's worth right now. So I'm just going to leave that little blip of color right there. I mean, who really cares? I mean, I do, but this is just a simple thing. We don't need to be too nitpicky. Okay. Alright, now that I have it where I want it, I just want to crop this file because it's so huge. I'm going to just grab my crop tool and... Oh, it's going to start telling me what size it wants it to be. Okay, we don't want that. Maybe I can... I don't want that. No, stop it. Okay, cancel. Crop. Ratio. Okay, hopefully I can just change this to whatever I want now. Yay! Okay, let's put him right in the middle there. Kind of creepy. He looks like this floating armless dude with a weird expression. Alright, now I have my crop, and I can click on my black rectangle to get rid of that. I can click on my background layer to get rid of that. Now I just have my good old-fashioned file, just the way I like it. So now I'm going to save it, and you can just save it to your computer. That's usually what I do. You don't need to keep it, per se, so I'm just going to say Josh cutout. I'll save it to my desktop. Okay, and the file format you want it in is either a Photoshop file format, which is large, or a PNG, which is smaller. So I'm going to just go with a PNG, but either one will work. That's going to maintain the fact that it's has a transparent background. So I'm going to click on that, sending it to my desktop. Click Save. I don't really care what goes on here. Okay. Bam, I've got it. Now I can go back over to my doop-de-doo. Go back over to InDesign, and I can add it to it. So to add it, you would either come up to File and click Place, or you can just do Command or Control D, which is my favorite thing to do. So I'm going to do Command or Control D. It's going to bring up this. Now I just need to go and find my file. Let's see, I saved it to the desktop, and I saved it as Josh Cutout PNG right here. But bam! Open, and then click to put him where I want him. Oh. Fresh. Still really pixely, but what can you do? Alright, now changing the size of these is a little bit different. You have to hold down different buttons. So if you have a Mac, you hold Control and Shift at the same time as you drag, and that will make them bigger. For a PC, that would be Control and Shift, I'm pretty sure. See, it's not working on mine because it's different because it's Mac, but Control and Shift should usually do it. I'm just going to do Command and Shift because I'm on a Mac. Click and drag. And that's a good size, I think, for him. And then I want him a little bit off to the side because I do not want that awkward shoulder showing up. If I had it my way, I wouldn't have any of it, but What can you do? You could even like tilt him a little to get rid of some of that. Make him bigger. I just don't want that shoulder to look super awkward. All right, so now I've got that in there. I just need to put it behind the ribbon, so I will right click on it, hit arrange, and then say send to back. And now he's back there. Oh, precious, it works. Okay, so we've got his face on there. It looks pixely right now. You can change that by changing your display performance and going to high quality display. Looks like that's not going to make a huge difference though. Oh well, it's, you know, maybe we can get a better picture from him, but for now we're just going to run with this and hope it works. Okay, so last step, we've got everything else in place, we just need the background. So for that, we'll go back to Photoshop, close this. Don't save, I'm fine, I don't care. Okay, so we gotta open this on Photoshop. We actually have to pull it from Google Chrome first. We have to grab it from our thing here. Okay, so here we have the VIPs page. If I open him again, I have his OC down here. Very nice. I'm going to copy it, do that weird thing because it wasn't doing it the right way earlier. So I'm going to open Microsoft Word, paste it in here first. And I'm going to copy it again. And let's see, that's file, new. Just make sure it's at 300. Paste him in there. Perfect! Fantastic. Okay, close this. Now you need the background to put him into. So the idea is it's supposed to look like the pony is actually walking around in Salt Lake City. So for that, you come back here, you go back to Art Assets, and here we have stock photos right here. And you just choose one that you think would work well, preferably one that probably hasn't been used yet, but you know, you can recycle some if you need to. I think, I want to use this one for this guy. So I'll do that. I will download it just somewhere on my computer so I can find it. And then you just want to open it. No, shh, I don't want that. Stop. Open it in Photoshop. Okay, so this is the tricky part because you have to figure out where the pony's gonna go. You want it to look real, as real as possible anyways. And you also have no idea how it's gonna fit in relation with his picture. So this is gonna be kind of a little confuzzling, but hopefully not too much. Okay, so we have the background. Here we have him. I'm just gonna do Command A to select all of him, copy him. And I actually want this to be flipped, so I'm going to flip it. You know, this is all up to you, but you don't have to. But image rotation, flip horizontal. Okay. And then paste him in. Perfect. He's actually really good size for this. This is good. All right, so with this cursor, it's right up here. This is what you can move stuff with, so you can click him and move him. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to have his head somewhere over here, that part of it. And so I want him to be over here, but the trick is I really want him to look like he fits in here. Right now he's 2 times as tall as this woman over here, so I'm going to change his size. Command T to get that transform box. Hold Shift to keep it uniform. And then probably right about there is probably an accurate size for, I mean, it's hard to say because they're not proportionally accurate ponies, technically. So it's hard to say if it would be he'd be taller or shorter than a human. But anyways, that's for another time. We can argue the semantics later. I'm going to make him a little bit bigger. But I think that's about as proportionate as I'm willing to make him go. I'm going to double click to select it. Okay, so now he kind of looks like he fits in, but he's not totally there. So this is where you have to play. If you know Photoshop well, this is going to need some magic. Oh, look, there's a little hand going on behind him. I might move that. I want to put her a little for the lady so at least I don't see that hand. Okay. Alright, so yeah, if you're not good at Photoshop, you might want to consider just skipping this step and maybe just pasting him into the InDesign document and just putting him there for kicks. But I'm going to show you how to do this in case you want to. Okay, so first of all, I want to make sure he blends in. Right now he looks too bright. Everyone else is in the shade. So I need to change his lightness and his darkness. So for that, you're going to want to hit Command U, which will bring up hue or saturation. You can also access this by hitting up image. Here, I'll cancel. You hit it, image, adjustments, hue, saturation right here. Command or Control U. We have saturation, which changes how like bright, vibrant he is. We don't really care about that. Don't want to change his hue. That's what color he is. Don't want to change that either. Could be a fun way to test if you want to see what color your OC should be. Anyways, and then lightness. This is what we're trying to change here. So we want him to be darker, so I'm just going to drag this over. And it's going to make him look like he is also standing in the shade. Now if I hit Control L, which stands for levels, then I can actually click these 3 little arrows to change how much light is in there, proportionate to how much dark is in there. So maybe I want to like bring out the darks a little more, but then pop out the lights just a little bit. So it looks a little more 3D, it looks a little more poppy, but it still looks like he's standing in the shade. Okay, and then of course, this is pretty much really all you have to do. Sometimes you have to do spot stuff, but that's pretty much it. I will also, sometimes I will desaturate them just the tiniest bit. So let me go back to that, Command U. And desaturate them just a hair so that it just feels a little more natural, because most things aren't ultra colorful in our world. They're a little more natural. So I'll do that. Okay. And then, yeah, so I feel like I'm pretty set up now. Now I just need to make sure he has a shadow, because these people have little shadows. He needs one too. So a really easy way to do that is make sure you're selected the background layer, which has this little lock on it. Doesn't really matter. You can ignore the lock. Click the background layer. Come over here to your toolbar, and you want to get the burn tool. So it's this little hand. Sometimes it'll be selected on dodge tool. It's like this filled in sort of magnifying glass. You want the burn tool. That's going to make it darker. And up here you can change the exposure, which is how dark it gets, the mid-range of it, the size of your brush. I want to make my brush just a smidgen bit bigger. Oh, no, that is not what I wanted. Okay, so a smidgen bit bigger, and then make sure you're, again, on the background layer, and then you just click and kind of paint it, and it will darken any area that that's in. I kind of want a blurrier background. I want it to blend in with the back. I don't want it to be like a harsh line where he's standing. I want to have a nice little blur to it, so I'm going to come in with that. And the more you do it, the more you click, the darker it'll get. And you just kind of want to go in this kind of this space around his hose here. And maybe a little bit extra elsewhere if you feel like it's necessary. All right, and now it looks like he's more or less actually standing there, so that's good. Then I would save this. Just click save. It's going to pop up a new window for you. Save it somewhere you can find it. You do want to save it as a Photoshop file, because it means you can change it later. So I'll save it as a Photoshop file down here. It's file format Photoshop. Click save. OK. And now I'm going to import that same file into InDesign. So come over here to InDesign. Hit Command D or Control D to import it. Or place it, I guess is the proper term. It's on desktop. Now I really need to do some more desktop organization. This is embarrassing. I need to figure out where he is in here. Looking for PSD. Here we go. Okay, so here's my picture with my pony in it. And click to get him in there. And naturally, it is freaking huge, enormous. So I'm going to zoom out. Hold Shift Command or Shift Control if you're on a PC. And click and drag it so it's nice and small and actually fits in there. And then you can do a little more resizing to make sure that it actually fills the background. Okay, now I want it to be in the very, very back, so I'm going to right click it, hit Arrange, Send to Back. Awesome! I got the thing! Now here's the catch. His pony's like hiding behind the ribbon, so we have to make his pony appear. So this is going to be the fun part. At this point, you can try making him bigger so that he kind of, my computer again is having issues. So we can kind of walk out of that ribbon there. Try to make him even bigger and see what I can get happening here. Ideally, it is nice when you're photoshopping, let's go back to Photoshop, to get him further back in the picture, but it's not always possible because like if I tried moving him further back, the only thing I could really do is have him standing on this. Wouldn't really work. So, you know, I'm just going to try and make him bigger. That's not too bad, but I don't like that he's just still so far off in the friggin' corner. So, let's do a little experiment here. I'll just ignore that shadow I put there. We'll just pretend that was naturally there. Click on his layer, and I'm going to, no, come back here. I'm going to bring him back here. And then flip this back to the way it was originally. So that he's actually kind of right here. Yeah, that's a little further back. This is gonna be hard, tough choice. I want him back here by where these weirdos are standing. So he's gonna be really far in the back. That's okay. We'll just put him back here. Stop it. Tell you what, I really hate Max sometimes. Okay. Let's make sure he's the right size. Control T, Shift to drag it down. And I like having him right here, but I do kind of like, I would like him to kind of go behind this guy since this guy's in the foreground. So, to do that, I'm going to make him invisible by clicking this eye. I'm going to cut this guy out and make a copy of him. Again, using our magic magnetic lasso tool, I'm going to cut him out. See how it's kind of going out there like that? Do not want that. I'm going to try and get him back on the red shirt. The more you click anchor points, the more likely it's going to stay where you want it to go. And I really only have to cut about this much of him out, just because the pony's not going to go very far. So I'm going to just cut out this little blip of him. I'm going to copy it. I'm not going to cut it. I'm going to make a new layer. And I'm going to paste in place. So to paste in place, you go to Edit, Paste Special, Paste in Place. And now that's directly on top of him, and you can't really tell unless, of course, I started moving it. And then he would start to move with it, and that would be weird. So, anyways. So there's that. And I want this guy to be on top of my pony. Bam, now he blends in with the background. Awesome. And now that he's also standing in the light, I can brighten him up again. So I'm gonna, not wrong one, sorry. Control or Command U. I'm gonna brighten him up. Oh, wrong layer. Important things to know what layer you're on. Lighten him up. Lighten up, dude. How about there, I think. Andy, up the ante on his saturation since he's also in the light. We'll bring up his saturation as opposed to him being in the shade. And then I can come into the levels and do a few more come in with a fine tooth comb. So bring this white towards the middle, and that's going to make him lighter. Just even bring this, if I bring this middle tone out, it'll make the middle tones lighter, and I can just nudge that a little. Okay, I like that. I think that's pretty natural looking for a pony standing bright in the sunlight. All except that we're missing his shadow, so we're going to come back in, make sure we're on the background layer, grab that burn tool, and just burn a shadow in there. And for some reason it's not burning. Okay, what's going on? Oh, you know why? That's because that's a very, very, very light area and does not want to burn for the life of it. So maybe what I'm going to have to do is amp up the exposure. Make my brush a bit smaller. Burn, I say, burn. See if I do it here, it's really dark. It's not over there. Oh, range. Maybe if I go to highlights. Did I burn my highlights? Oh yeah, baby, there we go. There's that shadow I'm looking for. There's that shadow. A little in front of him too. And bam, looks like he's in there. It's almost literally just walking down there next to City Creek Mall. So cool. All right, so now we will save that again. Just Command S or Control S to save. Go back to InDesign. Now to fix this, it's already in here. We do not have to cut it out. We just have to go up to Links and this little caution symbol. That means that something's wrong with it. We just have to double click it. And it will update it. Yay! Which means, in turn, I can just scoot this over here. And there's our pony. Huzzah! No, I don't want it all the way up there. I don't want that white space at the bottom. Go back. Bam. Need I say more? Actually, I do. So the only other thing that's really left to do is, first of all, this is really, the background picture is really saturated, meaning it has a lot of color in it, and that's distracting you from wanting to look at him. He's a focal point here. He should be the most colorful thing. So I want to desaturate this just a tiny bit, and not technically actually desaturate. I just want to make it lighter. So I'm going to group all of these together. I'm going to merge layers here by right-clicking on them and merging them. Oh, sorry, I should probably redo that. So if you want to click a whole bunch of things at once, you click the bottom one, you hold Shift, you click the top one, it'll click all of them, and then you can right-click and click Merge Layers. Okay, so now they're all merged. I want this to be lighter, but not like... Anyways, I don't know how to explain it very well in words, but we'll do Command U again and bring up our lightness, and that'll make it look kind of like a nice, gently faded background. Just a hair. I mean, this is really all eyeballing it. I guess you can just say +20. I don't really care. Make sure you save it. Come back over here in a second. Yep, there's our little caution symbol. And there's a lighter version. So now he stands out way more, which is awesome. That's what we want. Okay, so I don't want to make him any bigger because he's just so pixelated. I really wish I had a better picture of him. But we'll just make do for now, and maybe if David complains, we'll come up with another one. Anyways, and the last thing you want to do is once you put him in there, he needs to have a drop shadow. That's what this is right here. It's what makes that exclamation point looks like it's popping. It has this little shadow by it. So I want to make sure he has a drop shadow. So I come out, I right-click him, I hit Effects right here. We have a couple different options, different effects you can try, but here we want drop shadow. And it'll bring up this window. And then you want to make sure you have preview checked so you can see what's going on as it's over here. And really, this is just kind of like, you just got to be nitpicky about this. I mean, you just can go whatever way you want it to, but you got to decide what you think is best. I usually like it not to be too far away. I like the distance to be shorter. See as I'm clicking the down arrow, the shadow is sneaking further away from him. So I like it kind of to be a distant, but not too distant. Size changes, obviously, it actually changes how fuzzy it is. Spread changes how, these two together change how big it is. So like right now you can actually see the outline. That's because the spread's really high, but the size is really small. So if I want that to be softer, I can up the ante on the size, and that'll make it softer. But I don't really want it that big. I just want it a little bit big so it looks like it just a little bit pops off the page. Almost making it look like it's been scrapbooked in there. It's a really small size there. In opacity, you don't really worry about XY offset. Not necessarily. I don't really worry about that either. And just click OK. Because this ribbon used to be up at the top, its drop shadow is a little bit off. So I'm going to fix it by just coming into drop shadow here and changing the angle by doing this. Okay, I don't care. And that kind of makes it actually look like it's sitting on top of him, and then I just want to increase the size of it because I think it's too harsh. And in turn the distance. And it's just kind of a matter of eyeballing it until it looks kind of the way you want it, natural enough. Okay, I like that. So click OK. And there you go. The only thing I would change is just make sure that this isn't somewhere awkward, and right now it's running into his head, so I'm just going to move it over here, and it fits in beautifully over there. In fact, it's framed by this little area, and we just love that here. So, and bam, that's pretty much it. That's all you really need to do. I mean, it'd be nice if we had a cleaner quality picture, but for the most part, that's it. So then all I do is I save it first of all, and you should have been saving frequently. And then I hit Command E or Control E for export, because you're exporting it to a different kind of file type. The traditional file type, or the automatic one, is Adobe PDF, but you want PNG for web. And then I would just export it someplace where you can find it. Change the name of it. Right now it's Facebook announcement, Shannon Chan Kent. Change the name of the guy, Josh Scorcher. Push save. Say export yes, I don't really care. Let it do its thing. And bam, it's exported. Now, you usually email it to David, and you also want to upload it onto the drive. So go back to our assets, click on social media, and now you can add it in here and just upload it from wherever you saved the darned thing. Let's see if Kate can find out where she saved it. Aha! And there you go. And he fits in with everybody else, every pony else, for the most part. So yeah, there you go. There's your deal. That's the thing. Now let's see, for perks, this is a whole different story. So I'm gonna end this video, and if David wants you to do perks, I'll get and make another video. The principle is more or less the same, but instead of bringing in pictures of celebrities, you kind of find a picture that represents the perk. You find one online, or you take one yourself. You type in the stuff at the bottom, then it describes it, and then you drag in one of the gemstone logos here, put it here depending on the gemstone tier it's on, and like do a little describe who it's for. And that's pretty much it for that. But I'll describe that later if David wants me to, or if you can't figure it out. All right, there you go.